Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are working on a PC60-7 komatsu. It's my personal machine, and I've got swing drive for it. That big gear and bearing right there has to come off to set the whole excavator apart and slide out the undercarriage, and then change the bearing and then put it all back together. So we've got the hoses hooked around where we can hopefully set this thing off, and we're going to try to still start the machine, use it to set its own self, set its own house, like the upper structure, whatever you call it. You gotta get down in here and take all the, it's called the swivel, take the swivel lines loose, then we're going to set the whole top of the excavator off. Stay tuned.
This is my buddy helping me here. This is his little shop he's got. He went to go find us a breaker bar tube, and he came back with a direct TV pipe tube that you mount your satellite to. Me and him swap work around. I cleaned some up on his property, and he helped me change this bearing out. We usually just trade work back and forth. It's good to have somebody when you can trade back and forth like that. It helps on a lot of stuff. During this video, when I come back to put this thing together, it was not pouring the rain, but it was pretty rain. I mean, it was raining pretty good. Needed to do a job with the excavator, so I actually didn't get no footage of putting it back together. Everything was just hectic and horrible. Me and Preston both was soaking wet. Me and my buddy was. So I apologize for not getting any of that, but you get some pretty good footage of what it's like when it's coming apart, and just to get to see the insides of an excavator, and then what the inside of a swing bearing looks like. I thought that was pretty interesting. But basically, you take the hydraulics apart that I showed you in the beginning of the video, and once you get that stuff apart and get it to the excavator, it's a whole separate piece. You take the bolts out. There's like 22 bolts around it or something like that. We dropped those bolts, and when you drop them bolts, it's just sitting there. So we had jack stands in the back, and we capped the hydraulics for when we fired it up. It was just drizzling out of a little small tube, which wasn't much. You just push down with a boom and hit a push back and sit on those jack stands, and then it just picked itself up off there. We took his tractor and pulled it out from under it, the undercarriage. So I'll go and let you guys watch. Just kind of giving you an idea of what we were doing.
No. Alright guys, we got the bolts coming out. You can see the bozos taking all these off. Once we get that off, we're going to lower. We'll pick up with a bucket, we'll lower that roller frame. Hopefully we'll get some of this on footage for you. I'm going to get it up close to right here, Preston. I got to see into the track. I got it. We'll be able to see it. Well, we just going to ease the jacks down. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you wear jeans much, but these daggone pants I got on are amazing. Lee stretch fit. Oh yeah. They're not skinny jeans or nothing. They just are. I'm gonna go with it. Probably where the pinion is right now. Is that a dowel? Or that could be a dowel. You want me to jack back up a little bit? Oh, there is a dowel. There's one on the front right there. But the back one is. I can go back up a little. I'm taking it up just a tad. Alright, we got it, but there's a dowel hanging in the back. We get that dowel. That dowel. There we go. I think we got it now. Yeah. I'm going down. Just make sure we clear it. It good. Yeah, we can do it. It's clearing it right there. I can see through underneath. I can stick my hand under it. You want to give it just a little bit, just a little bit of Sure. I'm going to take his jack out. I'm going to leave the camera on. It's about to die. It's about to run out of room. The only bad part is there's a big eye we could have hooked through back out for now. But it almost to have it to pull it back. It almost is perfect, and it'd probably be more useful pulling. You know, pulling it back in. See, it was just a jag. I'd take it up. I'll watch it.
This is what happens when me and Preston get together. We took his bearing off, and I told him I'd like to know what's inside of it. So he's like, well, let's cut it apart. I hadn't never seen the inside of one. I'd imagined it was just big ball bearings, and when we cut it open, that's all it was big ball bearings. So apparently there's a hole drilled in the side. They press that together, that assembly, then load the ball bearings through a hole in the side, load them in with a spacer, and they keep loading it like that, and that's how they, assemble the bearing, essentially. So we just decided we'd cut it apart and see what we could see.
it would swing for a long time. You know what I mean? Can you reach that camera? Here's what the inside of a swing bearing looks like. Hopefully, I like to know what's going on. We can pinpoint what we got going here. I'm telling you, I think there's something either got in a bind and busted out, or there's something happening.
Well, I'll tell you what we can do. We can take it, we can, and see if we're missing one of those places. I feel they got the thing to get. I do. That ain't what you just do that. That's what they put together. There's a hole right here. They put one piece at a time. See what I'm saying? They drop the piece in, and they slide that plug in there, then they put a rope in there out there. They some sort of a keeper. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, I'll see how it works then. Yeah, so they're not made from stuff. I wish we just kind of maybe there's one of these that is sitting here. It's cool.
It just, to me, sounded like, I was spinning. Something just turned this and what's right here, and hitting chatter and stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Human being. I was gonna say if we found one headed or was something had been damaged on it. I would like to see more than this, but I'll show you something like the other one. What? I said I'd like to see more than this, but I'll show you something like the other one. It looks like something's been twinkling, but so you can tell it's saying over there. So like I'd like to see more than that. Maybe there'll be one or two that's got some big chunks. You can't tell. You say your bully's name was Levi? Did I hear that right? My buddy just had a kid and his name was Levi.
So this is how this video is going to end. I lost the footage of installing the bearing, but basically we just set the new bearing up on the roller frame and slid it back under and put the bolts back in it. That's how it goes sometimes, but when it come down to it, I couldn't see nothing wrong with it to make it act up. And then when we put it back together, it still was catching. And Preston troubleshot, and we found that the swing lock solenoid was going out, and it would randomly just lock it up and put you in a bind. And I was the one who made the decision to put the bearing in, and I told him when I brought it, we're putting a bearing in it, so it wasn't nothing to do with him. It was my decision, and that's what happens in a business. Sometimes you make the wrong one, but once he figured it out, he switched that solenoid with the 2-speed, and it started acting up just how like the swing bearing was. So we just fixed that, fixed the swing lock on it, and it's got a brand new bearing on it now, and that's how it goes. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the videos. Leave a comment down below.